Unscrubbed, Book 1 of the Scrub series by Elizabeth Griffin, narrated by Janelle Tedesco. Chapter 2. The silver chain-linked bracelet slid away from Elise's wrist as it partially revealed her full name and her medical condition. Klein-Levin syndrome was etched into the sterling metal, as well as an emergency contact number. It was the only so-called piece of jewelry she wore, a necessary alert tag announcing to the world that she had an uncontrollable illness, a medical syndrome which at times frightened her. The medical world knew very little about Sleeping Beauty syndrome, and specialists in that field were hard to find. Elise had scoured medical journals and exhausted many hours of research on and off the computer. Still, she knew almost nothing. Her illness could have been triggered by a severe influenza infection she had suffered 3 years ago. That was what the doctors believed. It was scribbled in her medical files. That was the catalyst which introduced her to the grim world of sleep, of hours and hours of uninterrupted sleep. Those hours could turn into days, weeks, and even months, which often required hospitalization. Elise tried to stop her mounting worries. She was going to be fine. That had not happened in months. This was only going to last a day or two. By Monday, she would be well-rested and ready to resume her busy week of classes and work. If only she truly believed that. "Mom," she said, beginning her long recorded message. "It's happening again. I'm on my way home. Should be there in 20 minutes. The stress level in her voice was rising. "Check on me. I hope all of this is unnecessary. Don't forget to feed the cat. Zeus gets destructive when he's hungry." She ended the phone call and dropped the cell into her pants pocket. Elise raced down the narrow cobblestone streets of historic Philadelphia, paying little attention to the old-fashioned merchant signs swinging from street posts or the slow trot of horses pulling along tourists in open carriages. She did not see the horsemen dressed in the colonial finery of another era as they recounted the rich history of one of the 13 colonies. She was oblivious to the blue sky's ending promise to another beautiful day. She raced away from the gentle lapping of the nearby river as it tried to soothe the spirit of the city. A city of segregated neighborhoods, each within walking distance of the next. Communities separated by education, skin tone districts where the lighter the hue, the better the housing, and the higher the property tax. A city where salary dictated everything, who one loved, who one married, and who one dismissed. As the striking 19-year-old picked up her pace to a jog, she smelled the pastries of an old-fashioned bakery, its brick oven producing delectable aromas. The images of strawberry lemonade donuts popped into her head. They were quickly replaced by chocolate strawberry shortcakes. She wanted to stop, but a decision like that might cost too much. So Elise jogged on, but she refused to let go of the memories. Sweet potato pies with nutmeg and cinnamon. Elise accepted the fact that her life consisted of races. It had not always been that way. But that was another lifetime ago, a time when she believed that life was perfect, that her father would marry her mother, that the happily ever after stories were not just for books. She trusted that belief until she discovered that her mother was simply the mistress to a prominent doctor, and that she, Elise, might have an illness without a cure. That was when the old life ended, and her races began. Her first race was to graduate high school before she missed too many days due to Klein-Levin syndrome. She had received her cap and gown, but never walked. She had slept through the graduation and most of the summer. Her mother had run back and forth from the children's hospital to work that summer. It had been surreal, a Twilight Zone horror. She had lost 20 pounds and was fed intravenously for months. She was shocked that she hadn't gotten bed sores. The nurses at the St. Gabriel Children's Hospital were incredible. When she was finally released, life resumed its normalcy until the second race. It began her freshman year of college when she missed 2 weeks of school and only received her final grades after meeting with academia and presenting them with her medical records. The third and fourth race were relatively mild. Elise had missed a total of 5 days of school during her sophomore and junior year, and now began race number 5, she thought as she stumbled up the steps of a narrow wooden staircase. This has been Unscrubbed, Book 1 of the Scrub series by Elizabeth Griffin, narrated by Janelle Tedesco. Copyright 2017 by Elizabeth Griffin. Production copyright 2024 by Elizabeth Griffin.